up, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Mo Lachelle, and I am back at it again with another mukbang, whatever. We back at it again. Okay, so today we're just gonna, dig into some food from a restaurant called Caliente. I got what's called Fry-Chos, which is basically like nachos but fries. And then Jazz, what you got?
I have a beef quesadilla, and I just ordered a side of rice, and I'm currently putting jalapenos to the side so I can, dig in.
So we're just kind of gonna talk as we eat. Hopefully I'm trying to show y'all my plate is heavy. Oh Lord. This is my plate.
I'm trying to get mine set up. Here's my rice. You see my rice? And then it has 2 beef quesadillas, pica de gallo, that's how you say it? Guacamole, sour cream, and a lettuce.
And then they give like a complimentary order of chips and salsa whenever you order, so it's pretty good. But so the topic that we're gonna discuss is anxiety, which is something that I briefly talked about during one of my other videos, which was the graduate school advice, my grad school story time. But I just decided to kind of go a little more in depth about it because it's something that me and Jazz both experienced. Oh, and excuse my background, y'all, because as y'all can see, once again, it didn't work out, and I just need to move my room around and turn it the long way. So we just gonna say F it because I didn't have time. So, like I said, me and Jazz both struggle with anxiety, but hers is a little bit worse than mine. Yeah, like we kind of like 2 total opposites when it comes to it, so it's interesting. But we can still like relate to each other with like our symptoms and stuff like that. Like, so, Jazz, what would you say triggers your anxiety?
What triggers my anxiety personally? Sometimes, well, 75% of the time, it's whatever stress I have going on in my life. And stresses can range from a variety of a lot of things. But also, I'm currently learning that I can actually be having a perfect day. And for whatever reason, I feel anxiety. And my anxiety gives me, I feel it physically. And I probably can explain that later. We'll try my best to explain it later. But it gives me this feeling like how you would get butterflies. But it's like a negative type of butterflies. Like you're on a roller coaster type. Even though being on a roller coaster is not necessarily negative. But when you're not on it, it's pretty negative. But then I feel it 2 different ways. And I'm now learning that in my life. Like I actually feel it when I'm actually feel like I'm happy and I'm like going perfect. I actually can be doing nothing and have anxiety now. Anxiety is weird.
I guess for me, my triggers are like different stuff that's going on in my life. Like if I have a lot of stuff going on in my life, then it's like I just get anxious about it. Like, and it's more so what I've learned is I get anxiety when I don't have structure in my life. So, like, if I feel like I can't control what's going on or I don't have a plan or, stuff like that, then
that's how I am too.
I get anxiety from that.
It's like when I can't, when I'm dealing with something that I can't really control, or like she said, when you can't think of a plan to get through it, That's when I get anxiety too.
So, how does anxiety feel? Like you were just saying that you feel it physically. Like, how does it feel for you?
For me, if y'all ever been on a roller coaster or it's like a constant heart drop for me. Like if your heart just ever dropped, like I'm trying to eat though. But it's like a constant heart drop for me, and the only way I can explain that is, for example, my driving anxiety. If I get instantly scared, it literally feels like my heart dropped. Like, kind of like when something happened and you wasn't expecting it. And imagine that happening when nothing's happening. If that makes sense. Like I said before, it feels like constant butterflies, but more of in a negative way. For me, when I feel my anxiety a little bit too much, it affects me in a negative way, which actually makes me sick. And for those who get gas or have BOs, when you get scared, you know what I mean. Because sometimes, you know, for some people who like get nervous, they kind of get gas. And sometimes that happens for me, because I know from me and Moesha's recent accident that we had, we both, our stomachs was turning because we was like scared. But it's kind of like that too. Like I feel it physically. It's not just a mental thing for me. Like it puts a heavy weight on my body.
No, my stomach was hurting because I had to do number 2 on the way home, and yeah.
Well, mine was a little bit of both, but it came more because I was scared and my anxiety was bad. So that's what happens when my anxiety is bad.
This is good. I feel like all my cheese is on bottom though. But for me, it kind of feels like my head is about to explode. Like I have so many thoughts running through my head that I get a headache. I just feel like my head is literally about to explode. And then I just cry, or I have a panic attack, and yeah.
And that's another story.
Right. So
we can explain what panic attacks feel.
Well, for me, panic attacks is just like breathing hard. Like, well, it's a difference between anxiety attacks and panic attacks, apparently, but I don't know the big difference. So whichever one it is, like when I'm having one, I'm like just completely like basically like breathing hard and crying, and it's like I don't know how to describe it. It's just like you just can't catch your breath, and I mean how I get out of it is by catching my breath. I basically just I kind of just self-talk my way out of it. Like I like tell myself to take deep breaths, and then as I take my deep breaths, I slowly come out of it. I mean, everybody worries. Like, just because you worry don't mean that you have anxiety. It's more so when it starts to affect your day-to-day living, on your day-to-day life, that it becomes like an issue, and it may be anxiety. So if you feel like you worry a lot, and like it hinders you from doing things like going out in public because you are worried about being around people, or if it affects like where you drive and stuff like that, you can't even go out and drive somewhere because you got so much anxiety that you can't drive, or just not living, just worrying, just always thinking of the negatives about everything.
anxiety
Ooh, hallelujah.
can cause you to do a lot of things. Like it's a long list of symptoms that you're like, how is this anxiety? Because I didn't learn that too. I read the list of symptoms and I was like, I didn't, at one point in my life, I probably would pull it up and read some, but then felt like this or did this. And I know how my anxiety affects me, like I said, with the physical feelings. First it's the physical feelings. And then for me, it's when it start, excuse me y'all, when it starts showing through my day to day. Like I would look more down than usual. I would sleep more. I will put things off, procrastinate. I will, basically me, when I have anxiety, I mostly avoid things, and that's something new that I learned about myself. That's crazy. I'm still learning about myself.
I know when I had anxiety, like when I was telling y'all I was in grad school, I'm assuming it came from anxiety, but the sleep paralysis, like, that is the worst part for me. Like, imagine just waking up, quote unquote, and not being able to wake up. So it just seems like you just woke up and there's stuff going on around you, but you can't, like, do anything. Like, you hear people talking, somebody be knocking on the door, you see things, but you can't get up and you can't talk. And then, like, this is weird, but, like, after I experience sleep paralysis, I start, like, floating in the air. Like, not really, but, like, in the dream or whatever it is, when it's about to be over, I start, like, floating in the air. And I've learned how to get myself out of it. It's crazy because I haven't had sleep paralysis since grad school, and I ended up having sleep paralysis like 2 nights ago.
I haven't had that in a while.
And it is horrible, especially when you wake up in the middle of the night with it and then you just creeped out. And the type of person that I am, I get creeped out easy. Like the movie Bird Box creeped me out. The little Tyler Perry movie, what was it? You know what it's called?
Us. No, that's not Tyler Perry. Yikes, my bad.
No, you lied.
That one was I never seen that movie yet, but the commercials was creepy.
The one on Netflix. Dang. Whatever it is with the woman who basically got finessed by the man and stuff, and he was taking all her money. That movie even creeped me out. Like,
I don't know what that is.
I get creeped out very, very easily. So imagine how creeped out I am after waking up with sleep paralysis. It's horrible. I really shouldn't have even got this big one because I'm definitely not going to be able to eat all this. And it's fried, so it's not like I can save it for later. The next thing I have is, how do you cope? Like, how do you deal with anxiety?
Since I recognize what happens when I have anxiety, which is a slight depression added to that as well, and I know how it affects me, which, like I said, I shut down, and I shut down in many ways. I come up with things to pull me out of wanting to fall into my sunken place, and that's often that's what my anxiety to do. My anxiety makes me want to sit in a sunken place, and if anybody ever have a phase where they've been in a sunken place, that's a real thing. That's not just a get out thing, but that's a real thing. Like since I'm mostly at a mental war with myself, I kind of know what pulls me out of it. And since I shut down, which is pull away from people, like I said, sleep, I give myself different things to do. And I got different hobbies like writing. Now I like sewing. Currently trying to make working out as a coping mechanism. But as far as mechanisms, as when I'm in the moment of having a panic attack, you know, like she said, you trying to control your breathing. Think positive. I've gotten to the point to where, and it's easier said than done, but I try my best to think positivity and pray about it. So at that moment, I can just kind of put it aside and focus on the now. And that is very important for me because I'm always focusing on stuff that I can't do nothing about 6 months from now instead of thinking about stuff that I can do today. And that's where my anxiety comes from. I stress about stuff that I absolutely have no idea. You know, I can't fix it. So I focus on the now and I focus on what I can do today. And then I leave tomorrow's problems for tomorrow.
I know y'all keep seeing me looking up at the camera. I'm looking at the time. Time go by so fast. We already at 17 minutes. So, I guess the way that I cope with anxiety, y'all, I'm full. Like, I'm so drove that I bought this big plate thinking I'm starving. I ain't ate nothing all day. But
I didn't eat nothing all day.
Anyways, for me, like what I do to cope with my anxiety is, like I said, taking deep breaths. Sometimes, like, I'm the type of person, I don't react to things when they happen. Like, I don't have emotional breakdowns every 2 seconds or anything like that. So, like, when I do, I let it all build up, and then when I cry it out and talk to somebody, I feel better. And also organization, like changing my room around whenever I feel like I have no structure in my life, because my room is something that I can control. So if I clean my room and rearrange my furniture, I feel better just because I feel like I started something over, or I'm able to control something in my life. And believe it or not, that really makes me feel better. That's why I have a planner, because of the fact that it kind of just like helps me stay organized, which is very important in my life. Organization is very important in my life. But I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. I really hope you guys liked it. If you struggle with anxiety, if you don't know if you struggle with anxiety, but then you watch this video and you're like, I can relate to that. You know, like, comment below, hit me up. We can talk about it, anything, like, because I really feel like mental health is like a really big thing that we neglect. So I want to make sure that we kind of just like bring awareness to it in like a fun way. Everybody likes MUKBANG, so I just decided to do that.
There's actually a lot more to anxiety. You know, it's kind of hard to fit.
I really hope you guys liked it. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any more questions about anxiety and how to cope with it, let me know and I can do a more in-depth video on this. Alright, so let's see if Jas watch my YouTube videos. Y'all know what we do when I end my videos, but do Jas know what we do when I end my videos? Wow. On the spot. All right, y'all. Peace. I had to remind her. I know he was like, what is she talking about? But yeah, we about to be out. You ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Peace. Period.
See y'all know.